It was a day like any other in the bustling streets of London until the beer came. Yes, beer. Not rain, not tea, not even the occasional rogue pigeon. Beer. Over 300,000 gallons of it, or 1,100,000 litres to be exact, cascading through the streets like a frothy alcoholic tsunami. The Great London Beer Flood of 1814 was about to become the most absurdly tragic event in history, and no one saw it coming. Except perhaps the rats. But we'll get to them later. The story begins at the Moo and Company Brewery, where a monstrous vat of porter beer loomed like a sleeping giant. The vat, held together by iron hoops and sheer optimism, had been groaning under the weight of its own ambition. On October 17th, it finally gave up the ghost, bursting with a sound that could only be described as the belch of the apocalypse. The resulting wave of beer was 15 feet high, a dark, foamy juggernaut that smashed through walls, flooded basements, and swept away everything in its path, including, tragically, 8 souls who probably never imagined their obituaries would read, "Killed by beer." But here's where things get really weird. Among the victims was a mother and daughter who had been sharing a quiet afternoon tea. When the beer wave hit, they were reportedly found clutching each other, their faces frozen in expressions of both terror and confusion. One witness claimed the daughter's last words were, "At least it's not gin." A darkly sarcastic epitaph if there ever was one. Meanwhile, the flood unleashed chaos of a different kind. The streets became a drunken free-for-all, with locals scrambling to fill buckets, pots, and even their hats with the free-flowing porter. One man was seen attempting to ride the wave on a door, shouting, "I've always wanted to surf," before promptly crashing into a pub. The pub, ironically, was named the Drunken Duck. And then there were the rats, hundreds of them, drunk off their tiny rodent minds, staggering through the streets like furry little revelers. One particularly bold rat was seen wearing a top hat and monocle, leading a procession of inebriated comrades in what can only be described as the world's first rodent rave. But the twist? The brewery was found not guilty of negligence. The courts ruled the flood an act of God, which frankly raises more questions than it answers. Was God just really into craft beer? Or was this some kind of divine prank gone horribly wrong? In the end, the Great London Beer Flood was equal parts tragedy and farce, a reminder that life, like beer, can be both bitter and absurd. And if you ever find yourself in London, raise a glass to those who perished. Cheers.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more fascinating stories.